Hello, I'm Julianne. I'm a health coach with Healthy Living with Julianne. And today's topic in how to boost your immune system is the impact of cell phone radiation on you, your kids, your friends, your colleagues, your parents. It is an absolutely huge and toxic problem. And so today I'm going to give you some information about the dangers and how this all came about, and some practical steps on how to lessen the impact, supplements, hydration, food, and EMF shielding devices. So hang with me. First question you might be asking yourself is, well, first of all, when I do this, when I share on this topic, I usually have three reactions. Number one, complete denial. There's no such thing. It's all made up. The radiation from cell phones is inconsequential. It is not leading to any health challenges. Number two, yes, I recognize that it's an issue, but I don't have time to address it. Working, especially during this health crisis, working more than I was, saving my business, managing my kids' schooling at home while they're working remotely, juggling all of that. My parents, my elderly parents need assistance. I don't have time. And then third reaction is, oh my God, this is really serious. And this could be linked to some of the issues that I'm having, my spouse is having, my kids are having, my elderly parents are having. So which category are you in? So today, the first question you might want to ask is, why haven't I heard about this? If it's such a big problem, why isn't it in the news? Well, a couple of reasons that you may not have heard about it. One, it's not necessarily in the mainstream media because the telecom industry in which I used to work is interested in selling you phones and selling you and upgrading your current telecom, your phones, your current telecom network systems at home, so that you spend more money. Market share. So a little bit about my background. Before I shifted into health coaching, I worked in the telecommunications industry for a decade. Worked for mostly big corporations, but also medium and small size companies. So I worked for Nortel Networks, which competed with Cisco. US West, former regional Bell operating company, ARBAC, when AT&T split, it used to be a monopoly. Acquired by Quest, QWEST, and acquired by CenturyLink. TW Telecom, Cricket Communications, which is a mobile carrier and was acquired by AT&T in 2014, I think. So worked for a lot of big corporations, mostly in the business-to-business space, except for Cricket, which was business-to-consumer, B2C. And then worked for small technology companies. And my role was marketing, product management, and in that role, I interfaced with all functions in the company. Operations, IT engineers, legal. A lot of interface with the legal department to make sure everything that we published was legit, was on brand, so to speak. And so, you know, as a product manager, I had interaction with all functions within the company, and not one time that I can recall in 10 years did anybody at the table say, should we address the issue of cell phone radiation on the body and the dangers? Not one time. And in my work, I did market research, developed marketing campaigns. My role was not to educate the consumer. And there's a lot of ignorance within these companies. I mean, just because people work in the industry doesn't mean that they're keeping up to date. So my role was to entice you to buy more phones, use more bandwidth, use more features, and as you experience more benefits, then you will continue to use it. And then to promote stickiness, which means that we wanted to keep you happy and retain you as a customer. And these are behemoths that we're talking about. Some of these companies right now, Verizon and AT&T are leading the way in the wireless space. So, not a priority for the industry. And if you do any research at all on what the industry's doing or you follow it, you can check out the Cellular Telecommunications Industry Association, CTIA, which is represents all the major wireless providers and wireless equipment providers. So the current topic is 5G, and 5G is 100 times faster than the existing system, and therefore more cell towers are required. At its 2020 5G summits, I noticed on the CTIA website, the members included the attendees at these websites, at these conferences: Verizon, AT&T, Samsung, Motorola, Ericsson, Intel, Nokia, T-Mobile, US Cellular. Okay, so those are big players, right? And what's the problem? Why isn't everybody recognizing it? Well, there is an undercurrent of people who I am friends with, who are health coaching clients of mine, who actually do attend and try to affect the slow down or stop 5G, which is not going to happen because of the health risks. So in 2018, there was a national toxicology program which studied, it had been a 10-year study of rats, and they exposed the rats to only 2G and 3G cell phone radiation, not even 5G. And over 10 years, the rats resulted in malignant brain tumors. This is just one study that I'm throwing out here. So the problem is that the radiation from cell phones, which are called electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs, actually change the shape of the cells. Our body's made up of 70 trillion cells, and the function. So it's damaging cells. Now, you may not feel it when, that's part of the problem. This is an indirect issue. If you go for a run and you sprain your ankle and you have pain in your ankle, you can make a direct correlation between running, falling, twisting your ankle, and then you go to the doctor. Whereas this is more subtle, and it's hard for people sometimes to make the correlation. But it's there. In 2016, the Pediatric Society annual conference comprised of doctors, of pediatricians, and doctors from Harvard, Yale Medical School, and others concluded that symptoms such as ADD, brain fog, depression, anxiety, irritability, dehydration, insomnia, concentration, headaches, hyperactivity, visual disturbances, heart issues, and they made the link between those symptoms and people, particularly kids, who excessively use cell phones. Now, the challenge here is that I'm going to hold up some pictures here. I do a PowerPoint on my Facebook page, which you can catch, but I'm just going to throw this up here, and there we go. Okay. So this is a thermogram, and it's a picture of a man 15 minutes before holding the cell phone against his ear, you can see there's a yellow inflammation there. And then 15 minutes afterwards, you can see that the inflammation on this key here, which is orange and yellow, has increased dramatically. Okay, so that's just holding the phone against your ear, which I highly recommend against, because the phone, when you do that, it transfers directly through the ear canal to the brain, and the brain is running the show for our bodies. And so that's problem number one, that the radiation is emitted, whether if we're holding it against our ear. So that's the first thing I would recommend, is that you stop holding it against your ear. You use a headset. This is not all headsets are equal. So this one is an EMF friendly headset. It blocks the EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and we'll go there later. Hang with me till the end of this, and I'll give you a website and all kinds of things. But the ones that are sold by the major players, Verizon and AT&T, are not EMF safe. You hold a headset, and it's like putting it into, directly into your ear, and then it affects your body. So I'm going to hold up another picture here of Tiffany. Let's see here. Move this over here. There we go. Tiffany. You can see her. She's on the Dr. Oz show in 2013. And you can see this picture of her here, where she held her flip phone, not even an iPhone or an Android, a flip phone, in her bra in the same place every day for 4 years. Where do you think she developed breast cancer? Right there. That's where she developed the breast cancer. Okay? Will that happen to everybody? Not necessarily, but are you willing to take the chance? So the radiation is very real. It doesn't just happen when you put it against your body. I mean, when you put it against your body, that accelerates the problem. You put it against your ear. Gentlemen carry it in their breast pocket, ladies in the purse, but ladies may put it in the back pocket. It accelerates the problem. So the radiation is a very, very serious problem. And what is particularly dangerous is that it's omniscient. Is that the right word? It's everywhere. It's like God. Right? So we have a price to pay for demanding internet connectivity wherever we go. Cell phones is an issue, laptops are an issue, iPads are an issue. Any wireless devices are an issue. So when you go to Starbucks, you demand internet connectivity. Your kids' schools, big problem during this health crisis, because kids, going to hold up another picture here, kids' skulls are not developed completely until they are 18 years of age. So kids that are texting, calling, constantly being exposed to the radiation, it is affecting them. And that's what the Pediatric Society concluded. So I'm going to hold up another picture here. There we go. Maybe I'll put it closer there so you can see. So you can see we've got 5 years old in the left panel, 10 years old in the middle panel, and adult in the right panel. Again, this is a thermogram, and this is exposure and absorption or penetration. So the 5-year-old is absorbing more of the EMFs or radiation than the adult, because the adult brain is more developed. Shocking, right? So if your kids, but also your kids, you're seeing them become increasingly depressed, anxious, irritable, isolated, it could very well be connected to the gadgets. And many of those kids, many people, but kids are developing an addiction to the screen. When I grew up, I'm 61 years old. I didn't grow up with cell phones. My parents didn't have cell phones. We just didn't stay connected. And when I first started my career at 5, 6 o'clock when I'm done in the office, I go home. I wasn't checking my phone all the time. I understand the issue. I am an entrepreneur like you, and I understand the issues around this. But understanding and acknowledging is the first step to solving the issue. Okay? So, why should you be alarmed? Because you might wake up one day and see a cell phone tower in your neighborhood, another in your neighborhood, in your yard, and then when that happens, then people, get pretty close to the issue and start taking action. Don't wait. Start understanding now, because 5G is upon us. And I make the correlation when people say, well, how are we going to manage this whole thing? I don't know, but in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s in this country, in the United States and other countries, smoking was completely acceptable. Everybody smoked. The doctors smoked in the hospitals. The judges, if you look at the older movies, the judges and the lawyers smoked in the courtrooms. In all the public federal buildings, people smoked. It was accepted. In fact, it was part of the courting exercise. You see, actors, Cary Grant, others, who would, carry those cigarette cases. Ma'am, can I offer you a cigarette and light your cigarette? So this was whole part of the culture, and yet you wind ahead to the 1970s, 80s, and people who had been smoking huge amounts for decades started testifying on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. about the state of their health. They had developed lymphedema, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer. And so then you had the battle between the cigarette companies, which said, well, we have a warning right here on the cigarette case. It's Surgeon General warning, this may be dangerous to your health. I mean, and as you may know, if you're under 45 years old, you may not remember all this, but when I started, going out to restaurants and, pubbing and clubbing and going to happy hour and so forth, there were smoking everywhere. And then eventually Michael Bloomberg in New York outlawed, banned smoking in the restaurants. Okay, but it was a long battle. Now, I believe that the telecom industry is going to have a similar battle in years to come. It's going to be fierce. It's going to be fierce because cigarette smoking was not integral to the entrepreneur's business, right? Whereas the phone, a lot of people are running their businesses from their phone. So it's going to be fierce. People are going to come forward. They already are. Like Tiffany, 24 years old. Okay? So this is a pretty serious thing. So what I'm going to do now is give you some practical steps to lessen the impact because it's not going away. Number one, you want to start to think about times when you can stop using your gadgets. Take a break. Okay. So on Sundays, I happen to hike a lot. You can see the mountains behind me. And so I turn my phone off. And I set expectations with people. Yep, I'm hiking. Not going to be texting and so forth. I may check it in the morning, and then I turn it off. I don't put it on airplane mode. I turn it off. And I suggest whatever works for you, but you start to do that with your family. The other thing is to make your bedroom a sanctuary. In other words, no gadgets in the bedroom, and turn your phones off at night. Not on airplane mode, turn them off. And everybody, perhaps in the family, put the phones in the living room instead of in the bedrooms. this is a big behavioral issue. I get it. I understand the issues here. I'm just the messenger giving you some suggestions on how to lessen your exposure and your kids' exposure. Because if your kids are in junior high and they're addicted now, what happens when they go to college, right? And the challenge is that they're still developing, so it's a big problem. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night. Turn it off. Okay? The Wi-Fi is an indirect infusion of radiation. It infuses our body with radiation on a regular basis. And you can also install Ethernet in your home, so it's less direct. But you definitely want to, you walk your dog. Is there a reason you have to take your phone? Can you take a break? When you go to the grocery store, do you have to take your phone with you into the grocery store? So what are the cell phone companies doing to entice us to use their services more? They're encouraging people to pay their groceries with the phone. And when you go in a restaurant, the restaurant doesn't want to give you a printed menu. It wants you to use your phone to look at the menu to pay. And I say, oh no, I'll take a printed menu, please. Okay, so that's what we call stickiness in the marketing world. And so you need to take control. You're in charge of your life, your family's lives, and what you're doing. Okay, so when you go for a jog, I see people all the time, they have the phone strapped to their arm. Zzz, you're radiating your body while you're taking a jog. Okay, I see people all the time with the headsets on. Unless you have an EMF safe headset, you're just zapping yourself. And then your body has to work extra hard if you're trying to get into shape. So as an athlete, I take this very seriously. Candida, mercury toxicity, my whole health crashed. Simultaneously, I had car accidents that two car accidents that exacerbated existing back pain issues. So I had two parallel problems going on while I was working at Nortel Networks in Atlanta, Georgia. And then at Quest, US West, CenturyLink. So I had to really become very serious about how to shift my body from being too toxic and acidic, which is what's happening, right, to alkaline. Because the toxicity that we are exposed to on a regular basis is increasing. So the first thing I want to talk about is alkalizing food and drink that can help your body, jumpstart your body, give you nutrients. Low glycemic and high antioxidant foods such as blueberries, blackberries, cranberries, very helpful. Artichokes, asparagus, veggies. I recommend people that your diet is at least 70% veggies. Stir-fried, steamed, but that will help you shift to be more alkaline and release the toxicity. Spices, curcumin, reduces inflammation. Because what we're talking about here is the radiation from the EMFs causes inflammation in the body, and that's at the core of all illness. Doesn't matter if you have an itis type of illness, or you have a knee that's sore from working out, or you have a headache. It's all, the inflammation is an underlying issue with all of that. So our goal is to reduce inflammation. In the process, the radiation kills cells. It damages cells, didn't kill, but well, it kills some, but it damages cells. So you have 70 trillion cells throughout the body, behind the eyes, behind the thyroid, behind the heart, behind the digestive tract, behind the brain, and the radiation is killing these cells and damaging them. And so when our cells are damaged, they can't communicate, and this triggers inflammation. So the first step is improving your lifestyle in terms of food. And so I mentioned alkalizing foods that are high glycemic. Also, olive oil, coconut oils, these are great. This is fantastic. And then hydration, big issue. So when you absorb toxins in your body, it dehydrates you. Okay, it zaps your water. And so you want to drink half your body weight in ounces every day. And you also release water when you perspire, when you urinate, when you defecate. And so you want to constantly be replenishing all day long. And so you want to drink half your body weight in ounces. And I recommend ionized alkaline water from an ionizer unit over those plastic bottles that you're seeing where it says pH 9.0, 9.5 in the store. Those are chemically treated to maintain the pH. So yeah, I've tested them with the pH drops. They are pH, but they are chemically treated. So I would avoid those. You can get pH drops, not as effective, right? So you can get pH drops on online. It's not going to have near the impact, but it's better than nothing, and it's inexpensive. But alkaline water carries nutrients from your food and your vitamins to your cells, and then it takes the toxins, the radiation from your cells out of the body. So it helps you eliminate. Also, water is underrated. Underrated. You want to drink more water all the time. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, supplements. And I'm going to talk about supplements, and then I'm going to talk about EMF shielding devices. So supplements, these are just a couple to help you sleep more deeply, detoxify the radiation, and boost your immune system. Melatonin, very helpful for inducing sleep and relaxation. Magnesium, you can not only get a powder, put it in water before you go to bed, you can soak in Epsom salts, which has magnesium. Very, very powerful. Vitamin D, it helps to, vitamin D, a lot of people during this health crisis have been staying indoors more. Not me. I've been out more. I figure I've got less chance outside than inside of being exposed to the virus. And so I've been hiking more. But vitamin D is great for the immune system. And protein drink, whatever that is for you, whey, W-H-E-Y, rice protein. I'm really big fan of a scoop of protein in water in the morning to help you. And a lot of this I have read about in this book, which I recommend, called ZAPPED, Z-A-P-P-E-D, by leading nutritionist Ann Louise Gittleman. It's a fantastic book. You can see Ann Louise Gittleman right there. And she's in her early 70s. She got her master's in nutrition in her 20s. So she's been doing this over 40 years. And in this book, she talks about why you should not use your cell phone as your alarm clock. Again, you want to have your bedroom as a sanctuary. You want to be removed from everything. And she talks about some of these foods to help shift your lifestyle, to shift your body from being too acidic to alkaline. She talks about these supplements that help. And she also, and she says 1,268 ways to outsmart the hazards of electronic pollution. So this is very detailed. I recommend this. You can buy this online. So the last supplement that I'm going to talk about that Ann Louise Gittleman uses herself and recommends is Asea Redox technology, because it focuses at the cellular level. So when I talked before, I mentioned that the EMF radiation is damaging cells in the body. So let's say we have two cells and they're communicating. That's what they're supposed to do, to send an alert up to the thyroid, up to the brain, up to the heart. And so this communication network is constantly, ooh, we need to send, a support. But if one of the cells is damaged, the communication doesn't happen. Okay, and that's when inflammation happens. That's when toxic buildup happens, because the system is not working expeditiously. Okay, and so all the vitamins that we just talked about are very much absorbed by the cells, but if the cell's damaged, it can't absorb. So the vitamins that I just mentioned here, and some of you may also do essential oils, CBD oil, herbs, homeopathics, those are all terrific as well. They're over here in bucket A, and then the Asea Redox is over here in bucket B. So this is not in the same bucket. None of these, okay, melatonin, glutathione, I forgot to mention glutathione, which is a master detoxifier. None of these are made in the body. They're not produced in the body. The body appreciates it. These cells appreciate it. But the Asea redox cell signaling, the redox signaling molecules are actually made in the body, inside the cells. And so what this technology does is it replenishes the inventory. So this is not new. NIH has been studying redox biochemistry for decades, but it didn't know how to produce a consumable product. That's why this is such a breakthrough. So Ann Louise Gittleman drinks this. She had a concussion that was unresolved for years, even though she took a lot of vitamins and herbs and homeopathics and oils and all that. It just was unresolved. When she started drinking this, she found that the cells in her brain started to heal, and this helped her enormously. So a couple of points on this. When you go online, just looking for something here. Oh, no. So when you go online on the internet, just a couple questions I'm going to answer about this technology, because online it talks about this being a salt and water solution. If it were a salt and water solution, then when I spent a lot of time at Rehoboth Beach, where President Biden goes. I was there before, not before him, but I was already going, and spent a lot of time in the ocean. So when I get done working in the ocean, if I keep my eyes open, they're red, they're itchy, they're irritated. So if this were only salt and water, my eyes would be red, itchy, and irritated. So I spray my eyes constantly, actually, during the day, because my eyes are made up of what? Cells. Okay, so this is the Asea liquid, and then I'm just going to take it. I'm going to pour it into a glass here. You can see this is the Asea liquid, and I'm going to use a dropper, which I tend to do more. So I'll fill up the dropper during the day. I'll put it in my eyelids, put it in my eyes, because I'm like you on Zoom calls and looking at a computer. So if this were salt and water, it would be irritating to me. I usually have some left over, and I put it in my scalp, by the way, because when I first started drinking this technology, one of my big issues was brain fog, and it was largely due to hormones and premenopause and menopause. And I'm sure the EMFs, exacerbated the issue. So I put it in my scalp, and my brain fog improved. And I went to my hairdresser 2 months after I started drinking this and spraying it, and she told me my hair was growing. She noticed, I didn't notice. So this is great for hair growth. Why? Because the follicles, the hair follicles, are made up of what? Cells, right? And so when you protect, repair, and replace damaged cells. That's what happens to the growth. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, it starts as a salt and water solution, and then it's no longer salt and water. Number two, how much should you drink? So many people will start this product and not listen to the instructions by the associates such as myself. I'll drink it for a week, I'll drink it for a month, and say, I don't feel anything. It's not working. Not true. This is cellular, so it is working, but you just haven't manifested the symptoms yet. So the recommendation is 3 months, 90 days, and I would say about 40 to 50 people, for 50% of the people feel something in the first month, and then another 70% in the second month and 90% in the third month. I had over 40 symptoms. I had so many things going on that I really couldn't differentiate until I got to the third month, and I was rescheduling my chiropractic. I had back pain, so I was doing regular chiropractic, massage therapy, physical therapy, prolotherapy, Rolfing, acupuncture, dry needling regularly, out of pocket. And I'd already declared bankruptcy once because of my health, because I spent so much money. And I didn't take any pain medication. I knew that that wasn't the route that I wanted to take, but I was debilitated, so I really felt I had no choice. So the recommendation is 3 months, and most people start with 2 ounces twice a day, and that's a starting point. Labels are always a starting point, and so that's 2 ounces twice a day here. You just fill that up. But then after about 7 days, most people increase to 8 ounces a day. So the parameter is usually most people are 8 ounces a day. Why? Because that's what their bodies require. But there are people who only respond to and need 1 or 2 ounces a day. That's what I work with them, right? Some people have a healing crisis, I would say about 40 to 50%, meaning they have a little detoxification, headaches, upset stomach, fatigue, various things, because they're releasing. Remember the toxic load I talked about, the radiation? Well, there's other toxins that, we're exposed to, pesticides in food, insufficient water, cosmetics, right? Ladies putting cosmetics that are not organic. The skin absorbs everything we put on it. Mold in the home, mercury amalgam fillings, which crashed my health. That was the origin of what happened with me. So a lot of toxins. So this helps detoxify. So if somebody feels a headache, that doesn't mean it's not working or it's hurting them. It means it's releasing the toxins. Okay? Now, on the other hand, we've got another outlier, and that's people who are in the 10% category who drink 8 ounces a day. I can think of a doctor, emergency room specialist doctor, whose wife drank 8 ounces a day for a couple months. Didn't feel anything. Then they decided to increase to 16 ounces, which is half a bottle a day. And within a short time, she felt better. Okay? So it's always a starting point. Doesn't matter if it's Asea redox technology. If you take, when I was really sick, right, I took an enormous amount of vitamin C, okay, because I had immune issues big time. So I take 6, 7, 8, 9 vitamin C's a day. Now, most people, you've probably never been that as sick as me, probably not, I don't know. And, you might only need 1. But the label will say 1 to 2. That doesn't mean that's the same for everybody, okay? So understand that just because you don't feel anything, it doesn't mean it's not working. It means that the cells are in the process. Cells on average take 28 days to just get started, right? And the whole process is we're trying to, the cell's damaged, right? We're trying to protect it or repair it. It can be repaired or replaced. That's a process. It's a cycle. So spend time with the associate, or if you're working with other associates, communicate. I don't understand. And you will have better results. Believe me, life-changing, life-changing. Because when your body is healthy at the cellular level, the rest of your body can heal. So why am I talking about this in a discussion about EMFs? Because this is one of the top supplements I recommend to repair and replace damaged cells that have been affected by EMF radiation. Now, nothing that I've said today is designed to prevent, treat, cure, or diagnose any illnesses, okay? I'm not making any guarantees here. But you need to understand when the cellular process takes place, then the body starts to heal. Not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. Of course, with all those issues, I experienced an enormous amount of anxiety. I felt hopelessness. That was my driving negative emotion, really, because every day I woke up with new pain and new issues, and for years, and thought, I can't stay on this planet if I'm not going to feel better. And I was investigating everything, hundreds and hundreds. So I've been there. If you're feeling pain and it's not working. So we've talked about alkalizing food, alkalizing water, supplements, and now we're going to talk about EMF shielding devices. Okay? So Center for Safer Wireless is a wonderful NGO in Arlington, Virginia. And you can go to that website and see a lot of research and studies. The director, Desiree Jaworski, actually testifies on Capitol Hill about the impact of cell phone radiation on the body. This is an EMF shielding device that I bought. So when you're on the phone, hopefully you have your headset on, but let's say you stand up, you walk around. I do, right, to take a break, right? So if I'm on a 20-minute phone call, what am I doing? I'm holding the phone here. What's happening? The radiation is traveling through my fingers, through my hand, up my arm, into my bloodstream. But what I do is I try to use one of these things to hold the phone. Okay? So I'm not directly touching the phone, and this is a shielding device, 99% is the claim. Then I have another thing that I use, which I bought at Center for Safer Wireless, and this blocks the radiation 99%. So I tuck this in here, okay? And I can put this in my purse. When I go hiking, I turn off my phone on Sundays. Remember, I turn it off, but I keep it in here in case something happens to me on the trail, which has never happened, by the way. So that's two. Those are two wonderful things. And then, of course, I use the gloves. Okay, the gloves. So it's when you touch the screen. As I said, it's traveling up your hands. Now, sometimes you have to take them off. I get it, but we're all working at home, or a lot of people are, so I wouldn't get too excited about that. So these are just options. Again, I'm just the messenger. This is for thyroid. Okay? So when you're holding the phone against your ear, which I hope you're going to stop doing, okay? But a lot of people are doing this. The thyroid's right here, right? So this is affecting the thyroid, the jaw, the head, the eyes. Okay, so, and then I have a bib. So here we go. This is an actual bib, and I wear it. Now on Zoom calls, I don't wear it, but when I'm on the, I do. Why is this particularly helpful, especially for women? What is it covering? Breasts, lymphatic system. Okay, so I wear this, and I bought this, Center for Safer Wireless, exactly. And then you see behind me a monitor, and you see a little transparent thing here. This is for blue light. Blue light, which is a different topic. I'm not going to talk about that today. But the eyes, our eyes are getting affected by all this stuff. So I use that monitor, and then I use my laptop next to it. So I'm not looking at the laptop during the day. I'm looking at the monitor. Now, I'm just going to show you on my, see this? Maybe you can't see it there. So that is a blue light screen that I have taped. It looks like this, okay? So this is just something that I have on my laptop. If I'm doing a Zoom, then if I'm taping, I move it. But most of the time I have it in front of me, so I'm not directly, I'm blocked, my eyes are blocked. This is netting, okay? So what I do is I put this on top of my laptop, like that, and that helps block radiation, because I'm not looking at my laptop, I'm looking at the monitor. And then I put this on top of the keyboard, okay? So it may seem like a lot of gadgets to you, but if you understood the gravity of the situation, you'd say, wow, okay, sign me up, okay? So do your research on that. If you have prescription glasses, next time you get them, try to get that blue light feature in your prescription glasses. If you don't, you're not up for renewal anytime soon, you can get blue light glasses. These are big, and so I wear them on top of my prescription glasses. And I wear them when I'm looking at the screen, when I'm watching TV, because I'm trying to protect my eyes. So have I told you all my gadgets? Just looking around here. I think so. Oh, one more thing. Okay, so this is like the most important. So when you're texting, instead of using your fingers, try to get one of these. These are pencils, I don't know, 6 for $19.99, and you can see it's rubber, okay? So when I'm texting, I have my gloves on, I'm trying to do this. Doesn't always work, I get it. But I'm doing this with my pencil, okay? And I get a bunch of them online. And then they also in the packet give you replacements in case these, and I keep them in my purse, at my desk, and so I'm spending less time because our fingers are absorbing the radiation. It's going up the finger into the bloodstream. What happens? Our blood pH, we want it to be 7.3 to 7.4. That's ideal for alkaline. But with the impact of cell phone radiation, most people are beneath that. You can get tested, but most people are beneath that, you know. So, in summary, we've talked about the dangers of EMFs, particularly on you and on your kids, setting limitations in your family so that you take a break when you walk your dog, when you go to the gym, when you go out, when you play at night. You make your bedroom a sanctuary so that you don't have your laptops. I mean, everybody during this health crisis, right, there have been more people at home. So you may have, you know, a couple kids, parents, everybody's at home. That means you got 3, 4, 5 cell phones on all day, 3, 4, 5 laptops on. I mean, that's a lot going on. For those of you that work in an office like I used to work in an office, there were, you know, there could be 40 people on one floor, all cell phones. And so you're not going to get away from it, okay? But if you're more aware, it's helpful. So we talked about alkalizing foods and drinks. Supplements, redox technology. Just wanted to hold up one final diagram here. This is the redox technology that Anne-Louise Gittleman recommends, that I've been using for years. And you can see, these are thermograms. This is a picture of knees before the redox technology, which comes in a gel form, is applied to the knees, and this is after. Okay, so the orange is inflammation, and then you can see here with the back, after applying it, the back inflammation was reduced, and then of course the breasts. Okay, so this is a lot of inflammation, orange and yellow, and then afterwards, and then up here the breast, and then this is a hand, and then reduced inflammation, and down here, this I think is the spinal cord. Okay, so thermogram is a safer way. It does not emit radiation like a mammogram, and it's just a safer way to take a picture of what's going on in the body. But the Asea redox technology is very, very impactful, and because as it protects, repairs, and replaces damaged cells, that reduces inflammation in the body, and your body starts to become more alkaline, and it starts to work more effectively. So cellular rejuvenation is key. And then we talked about, and then one more thing about that, you will see it offered on Amazon online, the redox technology. I recommend you do not buy it online for a couple reasons. One, fake or any vitamins, don't buy online at Amazon or eBay. Not because I don't buy things there. I just told you I buy my pencils on Amazon, right? Because fake knockoffs have been reported, KNOCK knockoffs. So many spammers and counterfeiters, whatever, they'll buy a bunch of this at a cheaper price in bulk. Use the product, perhaps fill it up with something like tap water and sell it to you. And the company is not going to back it. Neither are the vitamin companies. Because if it's a distributor model like the Asea Redox is, the company specifically wants to sell through distributors because it wants to train us on the updates, research, science, and all that kind of stuff. Secondly, you miss the opportunity to work with someone who's keeping updated on the products. Remember I talked about dosage? People will just haphazardly take it and say, well, it doesn't work. Well, if you work with an associate such as myself or someone else, we've been trained in how to help you work through that and work through the detoxification. And there's a reward points program, so that as you stay, as you get the auto ship, you get rewards, and then you can buy free product. You can acquire free product for free. So I talked about that. I talked about the shielding devices. I hope that you go out and get those. Center for Safer Wireless. Do your research. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I am active on Facebook, Instagram, and very active on TikTok. Just actually did a video on the dangers of EMFs and had 11,000 views. 11,000 views. So people are starting to really start to be curious about this issue, and then I had a couple of hundred of those started following me on TikTok. So this issue is becoming a big, moving to the forefront, and I suggest you do your research. Feel free to contact me and tell me what's happening with you. I hope that you continue to enjoy the journey and don't just focus on the destination. I'm Julianne with Healthy Living with Julianne. And be healthy, be safe.